Some people say two is better than one. And if you agree with that statement, we have two for basically, given their age, the price of one, right? These guys are our senior bonded pair, and they are definitely a bit of an odd couple, but we've definitely seen Otter. At least they're pretty comparable in size. They're not, the 100-pound dog and the 8-pound dog. They're, they're pretty even. These guys are Nellie, the white wire hair kind of terrier mix. And then the Bulldog mix here on the ground, the big guy, is Zeus. And Nellie is we've estimated her to be somewhere between 13 and 14 years old. And then her best friend and companion here is listed to be between 7 and 8 years old. So as senior dogs, they do have some medical things that we want any potential adopter to make sure that they're really going through their profiles and reading those things to make sure that they're prepared to take those things on. But here they've been doing pretty well. They do enjoy each other's company. Hence the reason they're bonded. They have lived together for quite some time now. In their kennel, they're pretty active for being older dogs. They run around and Zeus barrels over her and knocks her over, and then she gets her revenge when they're cuddling in bed and she chews on his ears and stuff. So they just are a sweet couple together. A lot of people who like smaller, older dogs tend to have smaller, older dogs already. So these guys are fine with other dogs outside of the kennel environment. In the kennel, Zeus has been a little bit reactive with the other dogs lately. He's been on a kennel that gets a lot of traffic. So we're going to move him, but not something that we see outside of the kennel. They're typically, very friendly, very treat motivated, love to play still. So even though they are older dogs, they still have kind of that youthful vibe to them. So bonded pairs. Yes. So people often ask, how do we make that assessment? Because we get tons of animals that come in together and they're not always listed as bonded. So what are we looking for? First and foremost, we're looking for how are they when they're separated. Some animals come in together and when we separate them, put them in different cages, they don't care. Other animals come in and we separate them, we start to notice that they are much more fearful, they are much less social, or they stop eating, things like that. We put them back together, we notice their temperaments and their behavior improves, or they start to really cuddle and they're grooming each other, showing signs of affection, right? So that's one of the things that we take into account. We also take into account how long have these animals lived together. These guys have lived together for quite some time, so they are definitely used to living with each other. They do get emotional support from one another. So that's kind of how we make those decisions. Sometimes we'll say these are animals like each other and have always lived together, but don't seem to be upset when separated, so then we'll put something that might be better together on their cage. So we encourage you to adopt two, but it's not a requirement. And then sometimes we get animals like Barnaby and Jones who came in together that don't have to be adopted together at all. Could be, but don't have to be. We have the same thing on the cat floor with, we have two bonded pairs on the cat floor, but then we also have two cats that just came in together. We didn't require them to be adopted together, but they are actually being adopted together because the woman saw that, hey, they're friends, they know each other, I'll go ahead and get them both. So there's a lot that goes into that. We're always willing to discuss it, but just suffice it to say, if you see bonded on their paperwork, we are not going to separate them. A lot of people ask that, they say, hey, I might really like Nellie, I don't know that I want Zeus. We're not separating these guys. It's not something that we're willing or prepared to do. So just remembering, first and foremost, if you see bonded, they're a twofer. You can't take one without the other. If you want to take both of these silly guys home with you, then the best way to go about doing that is to make that appointment first and foremost. So you can do that at visitfcac.as.me.